Long ago, in a distant land, I, Aku, the shape-shifting master of darkness, unleashed an unspeakable evil, but a foolish band of warriors, wielding magic swords, stepped forth to oppose me. Before the final blow was struck, I tore open a portal in time and flung them into the future, where my evil is law. Now the fools seek to return to the past and undo the future that is Aku.
Seriously though, why am I not seeing more campaigns based on Samurai Jack's story? Today, dear viewer, I am going to show you how I would run a Samurai Jack inspired campaign and hopefully give you some awesome ideas that you can take back to your table. I'm going to be doing this in 5 steps by 1. Defining a foundational story, 2. Picking 1 or 2 ways to start, making rough guidelines for running the world, making sure I keep the villain involved, and defining a bunch of wrap-up options. Hello, welcome to the channel. I am Tikito, a lifelong world builder, guy making his own RPG, and a hobbit fresh out of the Shire. It's a big world out here. Now let's get into it. First, let's define the foundational story. An ancient evil god has been imprisoned for millennia within the confines of the earth, its form forever trapped in a strange tree of oozing black miasma. A special event releases this creature from its prison, perhaps triggered by the players unwittingly, someone they know, an important person, evil cult, or that goddamn Bilbo Baggins, always putting his fingers where they don't belong. God damn it! This creature then sets about conquering the world. It does not make itself known immediately. Over the coming months, great calamity, natural disasters, unknown dimensions begin to pour into this one. Strange creatures make their homes where once were normal folk, and mysterious warbands make raids on the local populace, attacking from a stronghold that seems to have erupted overnight. The players find themselves venturing into this region. Whether by chance or mission, they set about untangling the mystery of the region's growing strangeness and chaos, until at last they uncover a plot to dominance which leads to the evil god itself. They gather items, allies, and the blessings of the good gods or sages. Armed with their wisdom and knowledge, they make their way to confront the evil. But before the final blow is struck, a failsafe triggers, something that flips the whole goddamn campaign on its head. The evil god then A. Throws open a portal in time and flings the fools into the future. B. Petrifies them in a magical slumber for centuries. C. Throws them into a prison dimension where time moves slowly, so that by the time the heroes escape, centuries have passed. Or make up your own. Anything is fine as long as they end up centuries into the future. Now that we have a foundational story, we have 2 ways we can start this campaign. A, the safe way, or the super duper cool radical way. In the safe way, the campaign begins with the party's first day in the new world. An explosive session 1 erupts where they must orient themselves in this hostile place whilst being hunted by Aku's weaker minions. This allows the players to start as an already bonded party. They can define the relationships to each other, past adventures, and all kinds of cool details. This skips the awkwardness of starting in a tavern, getting to know each other, and is way better in general. I say this is the safe way because the super duper cool radical way involves them playing through the foundational story. But Chiquito, I hear you say, isn't this railroading? I'm so squeaky. Why yes. Yes, it is, which is why it's the unsafe way. But bear with me a moment. I would make this the prologue of the campaign, which would unfold over 4 to 5 sessions maximum. I would make it the party's first adventure. I would tell the players straight up that the first adventure is going to be more like a wide corridor and quite a bit railroady. But once they are done with it, the game will completely open up to their choices, no questions asked. Why would I go through all this trouble, you ask? Because once the players live through the foundational story, get their asses kicked, woefully underestimate the villain they face, doom the world, and only get a second chance once the odds are even more against them, then they will be that much more interested in the story. They will long to win. Their quest will become a journey of meaning, and then they certainly won't be bored by the campaign. Now that they've made it into the future, got their asses kicked, it's time to define some rules of thumb for running this future dystopian setting. First, I would shower them with reminders everywhere that they are in a place where the villain's evil is law and that they are at a huge disadvantage. As they travel, I will let them see the horrifying outcomes of their failure to truly impress on them the importance of their task and what awaits on the other end of it should they fail again. As they traverse the devastated world, they will be pursued by the henchmen of the evil god, forcing them to stay low on the radar in an ever-hostile environment. Here they will have plenty of opportunities to save villages, free the oppressed, dismantle evil factories of murder robots, topple corrupt governments, turn Aku servants against them, and more. They can make allies and unlikely friends, see hidden oases of beauty in a devastated world, and traverse awe-inspiring places of terror brought in by Aku's glory. At every fork in the road, I would give them a few options and prep their choice for the next session. In this situation, we have the rare pleasure of the player characters actually knowing nothing about their current world. So no need to prepare a whole pantheon of gods, distant cities, ancient histories. In Aku's world, there are no gods. There is no history. All praise Lord Aku. We can flesh out the world as the players explore region by region, location by location, person by person. And the players will only know what you let them know so far. Their characters do not know anything beyond that. This also gives us the opportunity to introduce vastly different areas, creatures, and themes within a single campaign, as the world Aku creates is one of chaos and variety, so we can let our minds wander. But the most important part of tying this together is how we run our villain and how often they interact with the party. You see, because in a combat-heavy, Heroes of the Realm style RPG, the 5th edition is, the villain is the campaign. Aku, being an arrogant master shapeshifter that likes to play with their food, is perfect material. Perfect material for a memorable, ooh, I just loves to hate him kind of a character. Therefore, how we run them and how often they interact with the party will affect just how much extra awesome sauce we add to a campaign, and how often you keep within your player's mind the prize they are fighting so hard to claim. Because of this, I would make sure that Aku interacts with the party often, making appearances to taunt them, assault them, or deceive them, infiltrating the party, misguiding it, using it for its own ends, arrogantly making mistakes and sabotaging them in creative ways. As the GM, whenever I would think about how the world is responding to the player's actions, I would primarily ask myself, what would Lord Aku, who watches the party via scrying often, do now? And I would go from there. This kind of dynamic harkens back to Strahd, who is considered one of the greatest villains out there. For a reason, use Aku often. Ultimately, there has to be a way to beat this bastard, to rescue the world, to redeem oneself and lay down this Herculean task, to once again bring sanity back to a land of senselessness. I would give the party a few main pathways to defeating Aku, whilst keeping vague backup ideas just in case. As they progress, I would give them clues and signs, repeated at least 3 times, some glaringly obvious but others only hinted at, which require deeper pursuit. It is important to have many options, because Aku will be actively trying to sabotage them, so they need plenty of room to fail. Unlike in Samurai Jack, I would not pin the whole plot to a time portal to the past. There have to be much more ways to defeat it, so get creative. Or better yet, let your players get creative. If I noticed during the campaign that my table was coming up with wild theories based on their in-game experience as to how Aku could be vanquished, then I would slowly reveal those theories to be true, to reward creative thinking and add more excitement to my players when they turn out to be right. Well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you have a fun Aku campaign if you decide to run it. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see more garbage like this, and like my damn video. Peace!